Have you ever wondered about how much money you can get off the list price of a property? Today I'm going to talk about just that and what some of the advantages are surrounding that. And what that is the list to sell price ratio. Or in other words, what is the difference between what a property is listed for and what you can purchase it for? So I looked at a couple pieces of information to show a little bit of contrast between how that number changes between more of a seller's market and more of a buyer's market. So I looked at information for the first quarter of the last 3 years for 2 districts within Calgary. So I'm not looking at all the districts. I picked out 2. In Calgary, we have a total of 8 districts. Sounds a little bit like the Hunger Games. But the 2 districts I'm going to look at today are South Calgary and City Centre. So if we look at South Calgary, in 2014, the average difference between what properties were selling for in relation to their list price was 1.59%. If we look at 2015, that grew to 2.69%. And in the first 3 months of this year, the average is about 3.34%. Now that's not only just for City Centre. If we use, or for South Calgary, if we use City Centre as a contrast to that, we see very much the same pattern. 2014, the difference was only about 1.9%. 2015, it grew to the mid 3 percentile range. And in this year, it's creeping up on 4% of a difference between list to sell price ratio. Now, these are averages. I want to share with you a little bit of a story. In February, I was helping a buyer purchase a property. We were able to get 5% off the list price. So he's now on a property he's very happy with. He's cool with living there for the next, 5 or so years, and he feels very happy with the price that he paid. So you can see that the list to sell price ratio really is something that you'd want to consider both as a buyer and a seller. Because if you're a seller thinking about selling and you're hesitant to do that because you're looking at these differences in what people are getting for their properties, you might think that now's the bad time to do it. But keep in mind that these percentages vary not only by city district, but also by neighborhoods and property type, detached, attached, condominium, and etc. So it's important to be aware of what your product is and how these percentage differences affect that. So whether you're thinking of buying or thinking of selling, I hope you found this really useful. If you've got questions about the list to sell price ratio in any of the neighborhoods in Calgary and what those averages are, get in contact with me today. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you again next week.